Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is 8.1, find the circumference, diameter, and area. Objectives: you will be able to find the circumference of a circle, find the area of a circle, and find the diameter in a circle. So this might be a recap here for middle school, but it's just a good idea to remember this stuff for the material that we're about to get into. The formula to find a circumference of a circle is, well, that's this formula right here. C equals 2 times pi times r. And all we need, if we want to find the circumference, all we need is the radius. Do our radius times 2 times pi. Now it'll find us the circumference. Now, another formula they could give you here on the internet is that the circumference is equal to the diameter times pi. So if they give you the diameter of the circle, you could just multiply the diameter times pi, and that would also get you the circumference. Just a recap in the circle, what a circle looks like. I have a blue circle right here. The radius is in red. It goes from the middle of the circle to any edge of the circle, or any piece of the circumference. So that distance there in red, that's the radius. The diameter is really just two of the radiuses put together. The diameter goes from one side of the circle all the way to the other side of the circle in one straight line. And it goes through right the middle of the circle. So it goes from one side to the other side of the circle through the middle of the circle in order for it to be a diameter. Alright, number one, find the circumference. We're given a radius of 8.8. So according to the formula, our circumference is equal to 2 times pi times our radius, which is 8.8. Now we could put that right into the calculator. In this case, I'm just going to do 2 times 8.8, which gets you 17.6 times pi. And then we'll put it in the calculator to get a decimal. So we do 17.6 times 8.8. We get 154 as an answer. 154.88. Feet. I'm sorry. I typed it incorrectly in the calculator. 17.6 times pi. And 17.6 times pi is 55.29. 20307. And that's really your final answer. 55.29. Which is B. Alright, looking at number 2. We have a radius of 6. So our circumference is equal to 2 times pi times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. So we enter 12 pi in the calculator, or 12 times pi, and we get 37.699. So 37.699, which is very, very, very close to 37.7. Alright, looking at number 3. Our radius is 11.9, and we know it's 2 times pi times radius. So 2 times 11.9. And then times pi. Gets you 74.76. And 74.76 is very close to 74.8. So number 3 is D. Number 12, the radius is 12. Sorry, number 4, the radius is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. So the circumference is 24 pi. And 24 times the pi gets us 75.39, which is B. Let's apply this to a word problem. An architect is making a plan for a new circular playground. If the picture below is the playground, how much fencing needs to go up to keep the kids in the circle. So how much fencing is it going to take to go all the way around this circle? If the radius from the center of the circle to the side is 32 meters, that is. So we do 2 times pi times 32. So 2 times 32 times pi gets you 201.06. So I'll type that in. 201.06. And now it would be meters squared. Because we were working with meters, because we were given 32 meters, and squared, it's because it's a circular pattern, because we did radius times radius. All right. Moving on to the next one. Number 5, you got the radius is 11.5. 2 times 11.5 times pi gets you 72.25, which is then B, because 72.25 rounds up to 72.3. We got ourselves a Ferris wheel. The diameter of this Ferris wheel was 250 feet. How many did the Ferris wheel rotate with one complete turn? Okay. So in other words, if, what this word problem is saying, let's say we have a person that's starting right here. They want to know how far did they travel if they circled around one time. So it's just one time of a rotation. So to find out the one time of the rotation, all we have to do is find the circumference. So the circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. Or like I said before, the circumference is also equal to the diameter times pi. So 250 times pi gets you 785.39. So 785.39. Now here's the one that's a little bit trickier. The drawings above represent the tablecloths Margaret is thinking about buying. She plans to sew a decorative fringe on the tablecloth, which is what you see here in the picture. It's that little siding and things on the tablecloth. About how much fringe will Margaret have to sew on the round tablecloth? So if the diameter of this tablecloth is 3.75 feet, aka 3 3/4 feet, we do circumference is equal to diameter times pi. So 3.75 times pi. $11.78. We got 11.78, which 12 is the closest to it. So for this one is D, 12. Number 6, we got a radius of 11. So the circumference is 2 times pi times the radius of 11. 2 times 11 is 22, so you have 22 pi. And 22 pi in the calculator as a decimal is 69.11. So 69.11, which is B. 6 is B. Alright, about how many more inches is the circumference of the circle than the perimeter of the quadrilateral? So we find the circumference of the circle, so 2.5. Well, 2.5 times 2 is 5. So it'll be 5 pi is the diameter for the circle. Then to find the perimeter of this polygon, we just add up all the sides. So you have 1.23, 1 2/3. So I do 1 point, a whole bunch of 6s after the decimal, plus 3 plus Now 2/3 is the same thing as 0.6 repeating a lot. So I put 2.6, about like 8 sixes, plus the 1 1/3, so 1 point, a whole bunch of 3s, because 1/3 could be represented by a whole bunch of 3s in the calculator, plus 3, which gets you 11.6 bar notation. So 11.6 bar notation is the perimeter for this guy, for this quadrilateral. We want to know how many more inches is the circumference compared to that. So we're going to do 5 pi minus 11 point, a whole bunch of 6s. And we're going to get 4.04. I'm going to put it in the calculator, which is very, very close to let's see what happened here. Okay, so I am right. They just made a mistake here. This is supposed to be 4 inches. So it'll be C. Alright, let's move forward. Number 7. That's just another problem you can practice on your own. Here's another word problem you can practice on your own with a bike trail and the path there. Here's another one. Outside radius of a truck tire is 11 inches. How far will the truck have traveled after 3 rotations? So if the radius is 11 inches, the circumference is equal to diameter times pi, which is 22 pi. And since it's asking for 3 rotations, your answer, 22 pi times 3, is going to be 66 pi. But you're going to get an answer of its traveling of 207.345. That's how far it would travel. 9, there's another one. 10, there's another problem you could work with. Let's now talk about finding the diameter of a circle when given a radius. So if your radius is 9.9, to find the diameter, all you got to do is double it. So 9.9 times 2 is going to get you 19.8. So remember to go, when you're given the radius, to find the diameter, you got to double it. So 3 times 2 gets you 6. If the radius is 8, the diameter then is 16. If the radius is 9, the diameter is 18. If the radius is 5.2, we double it and now it'll be 10.4. Alright, next formula is the area of a circle. To find the area of each circle, you use your calculator to find the value of pi, round your answer to the nearest tenth. So if your radius is 4.5, the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So it'll be 4.5 squared times pi. So we put that in the calculator, 4.5 squared times pi. Then we get 6361. So 6361, when we round that, it's 63.6. Radius is 3 here, so pi times radius squared. So 3 squared is 9, so we have an area of 9 pi, and 9 times pi in the calculator is 2827. And when we round that, that'll be A, 2830, or 28.3. Once again, your radius is 7. So 7 squared is 49 times pi. So we type in 49 times pi in the calculator, we get 153.9. So 153.9, that answer is C. Once again, the formula to find the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. And if our radius is 9.3, we do parentheses 9.3 squared times the pi, which is 271.7. So that would be A. Alright, here's more of a challenge problem. A circular piece of material is used to construct a cone with no top. The radius of the material is r units, and the sector with the central angle theta is cut out of a circle and discarded. The two edges of the remaining material are joined to form a cone. We are interested in the radius, height, and volume of the cone, constructed in this manner. So, this is quite a bit more of a challenge problem here. Do they give us any numbers at all? I think it's missing some numbers here. But if you're given the radius of this little piece over here, you could then find the circumference if you're given an angle with it, whether it be that angle or this angle, in addition to that radius. This radius is the same thing as this length of going from the bottom of the cone to one of the pieces of the circumference of the cone. This circumference right here, this red piece, that's actually this circular piece on top of our diamond here, of our cone. That's all the relationships. And here's another challenge problem you could try on your own. Actually, we got some time here on the camera. I could work through it right now. A circular pool with a diameter of 20 meters has a circular walkway around it with a width of 2 meters. Wood chips are going to be purchased to lay around a path. A bag of wood chips can cover 5 meters of an area. How many bags will be purchased to have enough to cover the walkway? So now, something to consider. I just made a nice little picture. It's 20 in diameter. If you add an extra 2 on each side, we could find the circumference of the big circle too. And we can also find areas, but we're going to, since we're working with area, because we want to find out what is all the area of wood chips, we're going to find the area of the blue circle, which in this case the area is pi times radius squared. So if our diameter is 20, our radius is 10, and 10 squared is 100. So the area of the blue guy is 100 pi. Area of the blue circle. To find the area of the red, we add an extra 2 feet to the radius. So 10, because this, remember the radius is 10 from the center of the circle to the side. We add an extra 2 feet. That makes it 12. 12 squared is 144 pi. So the area of the red circle is 144. To find out the crust of the pizza, we do the area of the red minus the area of the blue. So 144 minus 100 will get us 44. Maybe 44 pi. Because 144 pi minus 100 pi gets you 44 pi. So that's how much area of wood chips that we need to fill. So now, a bag of wood chips that can cover 5 square meters of area. So what we do, we take our 44 pi, we divide it by 5, because it's all in meters. 44 pi divided by 5. We get 2764. So it'd be 2764, that means 28 bags need to be purchased. So it's just a whole combination of things. Small things being put together to solve the real life problem.